In the Cerrejón region of Colombia, a team of scientists and paleontologists was digging deep into the earth. This wasn't just any coal mine. It was formed from a 60-million-year-old rainforest, making it a prime spot to search for the remains of ancient plants and animals. This place was a window into a mysterious past, a secret world hidden beneath the Earth's layers. During the excavation, the experts uncovered something bizarre deep within the rock. As they cleared away the dirt, they realized it was a bone. "It's a crocodile bone," one said. Another thought it was from a turtle. Someone else even guessed it was the trunk of an ancient tree. But this single bone would lead science on a journey to a world ruled by the largest snake that ever lived, Titanoboa. This wasn't just any snake. It was 10 times heavier than today's green anaconda and longer than a passenger bus. It was so massive that if it tried to move on land, it would have been crushed by its own weight. So where did it live? This unremarkable-looking bone transported experts back to an Amazon with a completely different landscape. What was the real reason for Titanoboa's incredible size? How did it hunt? And what ultimately led to the end of its reign over the Amazon jungle? The discovery of Titanoboa wasn't a sudden event. It was a process that began in 1994. A local geologist named Henry Garcia spotted a strange object in the Cerrejón mine that looked like a piece of a tree branch. At the time, no one paid much attention, and it was stored away in a special box. Nearly a decade later, in 2002, another geologist, Fabiani Herrera, found a similar fossil in the same area. Their main goal was to study the ancient plant life, to understand what the world's first tropical rainforests looked like. The real turning point came in 2007, when these fossils were sent to the Florida Museum of Natural History. There, they realized it wasn't a branch. Its structure didn't match a crocodile's backbone either. But when they compared it to the bones of modern anacondas and pythons, they were stunned. The fossil bone was 3 times larger and thicker than that of an anaconda. The experts immediately identified it as a snake vertebra. You can see for yourself. On the right is the vertebra from the coal mine. On the left is the backbone of an anaconda. In science, size matters, and Titanoboa shattered every record. Using mathematical models, the experts estimated the snake's length from the vertebra. They knew that in snakes, the size of the backbone is directly related to their total length. The calculations revealed a snake that was 42 to 50 feet long, about twice the size of a modern anaconda. But Titanoboa wasn't just long. It was as thick as a man's waist, and its mass was so immense that it weighed as much as a sedan car, roughly 2,500 pounds. That's 10 times heavier than an anaconda. A weight of over a ton is impossible for any modern land snake. This discovery sent shockwaves around the world. They had found the king of snakes, later named Titanoboa. The real question wasn't just how big it was, but why it was so big. Why don't snakes get this large today? The answer lies in the weather. Snakes are ectothermic or cold-blooded. Humans can generate their own body heat, but snakes depend entirely on their environment. There's a simple rule in biology. The warmer the environment, the faster a cold-blooded animal's metabolism runs. A faster metabolism means more energy, the ability to digest more food, grow faster, and support a massive body. The discovery of Titanoboa didn't just present a new species. It gave experts a thermometer for the planet's ancient climate. This massive snake was living proof that 60 million years ago, the temperature in Colombia was far higher than it is today. The Earth was so hot that the average year-round temperature stayed above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. With that kind of average heat, the humidity would have been extreme, so thick that breathing might have felt heavy. It was a sunken jungle that never cooled down. This relentless heat gave Titanoboa the power to become so enormous. Our modern Amazon, which feels hot and humid to us, would have been too cold for Titanoboa. If it were alive today, it likely couldn't survive. Now, a body that big needs a lot of food. So how did Titanoboa hunt? Did it chase down prey on land like the monsters in Hollywood movies? Absolutely not. Its massive body made moving on land incredibly difficult. Gravity worked against its weight. The longer the snake, the more it has to drag on the ground, creating immense friction. Research suggests Titanoboa was quite sluggish. That's why it wasn't a land hunter but an aquatic one. It acted just like a modern crocodile. It spent most of its time in swampy water, which supported its heavy body. By floating, buoyancy helped it feel lighter and move with agility. It would lie in ambush in deep, murky water, with only its eyes and nostrils visible above the surface. It was an ambush predator. It didn't chase its prey, it waited, sometimes for hours or even days, completely still. Its body would camouflage perfectly with the water. Then, as soon as an animal came to the shore to drink, Titanoboa would strike with lightning speed. Using biomechanical models, scientists estimate that when Titanoboa coiled around its prey, it applied over 400 pounds per square inch of pressure. That's the equivalent of having 2 African elephants standing on your chest. Titanoboa didn't wait for its prey to suffocate. The pressure was so immense it would instantly break bones and stop blood circulation. Its prey was dead in the blink of an eye. But what did it eat? To sustain its massive body, it needed a lot of food. In this tropical jungle 60 million years ago, Titanoboa's favorite meals were giant turtles and massive, prehistoric crocodiles. There were turtles the size of a small car, over 8 feet long. Titanoboa could crush them in its jaws, its teeth designed not for grabbing fish, but for crushing thick bones. The crocodiles that are the apex predators of today's swamps. Their ancient, even larger relatives were just another meal for Titanoboa. It was the apex predator of its time, a true emperor of the ancient Amazon. You might be wondering how it could eat something so big. The biggest challenge in studying ancient snakes is finding their skull. A snake's skull is made of very fragile bones that break down quickly. For the first few years after Titanoboa's discovery, experts only had vertebrae, so they couldn't know exactly how its face or hunting style worked. But in 2011, a student intern named Jorge Morno Bernal found a Titanoboa skull in Cerrejón. It was a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The skull proved its jaw could unhinge like an anaconda's, allowing it to swallow things 3 times the size of its own head. Its brain was tiny, but its senses were incredibly sharp. It had pit organs that could sense the body heat of other animals, allowing it to hunt in total darkness. Remember, water wasn't just for hunting. It was essential for its life. If its entire mass rested on land, it would have been crushed, and its internal organs might have ruptured. Water supported its weight, making its burden lighter. Titanoboa's life was a perfect balance. The heat gave it power, and the water kept it from being crushed by its own size. It was a marvel of nature, perfectly adapted to its environment. But if it was so perfect, so powerful, and had no natural enemies, how did this emperor of the jungle vanish? Why don't we see them today? The answer is simple but tragic. The world changed, and Titanoboa couldn't change with it. After the Paleocene epoch, the planet's climate began to slowly cool. A change of a few degrees might seem minor to us, but for a cold-blooded giant, it was a death sentence. As you learned, Titanoboa's metabolism depended on the heat. When temperatures dropped, its metabolism slowed. Digesting food took longer and its strength faded. It was no longer as agile and couldn't easily catch prey. It wasn't just the temperature. The entire ecosystem changed. The swampy areas of the rainforest that were perfect for Titanoboa began to dry up. And as a final nail in the coffin, mammals began to thrive. The prey that was once solely Titanoboa's was now being shared with a growing number of new, competing animals. Before long, everything the world's largest serpent needed was gone. No swamps, no heat, no food. A change of just a few degrees turned the world's biggest snake into a part of history. We hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and share it with your friends, and a huge thank you for all your love and comments. We'll see you in the next amazing video.